Thanks for the support as a channel member, Christopher Hoffman. Hello folks and welcome to my very first look at Football Manager 2020. That's right, I was one of the lucky few who got to go down to Sports Interactive's head office down in Stratford in London over the course of the weekend and play on an early pre-release copy of the game. So disclaimer up front, it's an early pre-release copy of the game, so it is obviously all subject to change before both the beta and the full versions of the game are released. No, I don't know when the beta's coming out. I know that's what people are going to ask down in the comments. I don't know. They didn't tell us that. We got to play on the new game, but they didn't give us any secret insider information, unfortunately, because that would have been a big help with planning content that I recorded while I was there. But as they always say, the beta will be released when it's ready and not before. So I guess that's probably for the best. That being said, if you are excited for Football Manager 2020, I'm going to be doing daily FM20 content on this channel all throughout the next year. I did over 450 videos on FM19. So if you are excited for the new game and want to get involved in watching some of this content and you are new, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on. There's going to be content every day for the next week or so. And then the moment that beta drops, I'm going to be throwing so much content at you, you won't know what to do with it. So, like I say, if you're new, subscribe, notifications on, all that stuff. I do have a couple of quick little bits of housekeeping just to get through before we get into the gameplay content itself. Housekeeping number one, I am doing another FM20 giveaway. I've already given away 4 copies over on Twitter over the last month or so, and that's exactly how I'm doing it again. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning a copy of Football Manager 2020, just retweet the tweet where I announced this video is out. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. Just retweet that to share it out to the world so people can see this video, and then one of the people who retweets that will win a copy of the game. If you can't leave it in the hands of chance and you want to make sure you get a copy pre-ordered for yourself as well, obviously I do have my discount code if you order through 2Game using discount code LOLLUJO. You can pick it up at the time of recording for £29.69, much cheaper than Steam. Again, the link to that is down in the description below as well. I would really appreciate you using that because not only does it save you money, but it also pays me a small commission as well. It's win-win. You save money, I make money, we all get to play an awesome new game and everybody's happy. But without further ado, let's pass over to Past Kev, who is looking at Football Manager 2020 for the very first time. I didn't have a look at it and prepare myself. This is literally me loading the game up for the first time back on Saturday. Be aware as well, obviously, we are recording in a room full of other content creators. It's a bit noisy. It was either record a noisy version or don't record at all. So hopefully you appreciate the fact that we got a noisy version released, so at least we can all have a nose around some of these new features. Over to you, Past Kev.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's that time of year again. I've been kindly invited down to Sports Interactive's offices in London to have an early sneak peek at the Football Manager 20 alpha version. Excuse all the noise going on around me. As ever with these events, there is loads of other YouTubers in the room who are all recording, making their own noise and just generally being very loud. So there's going to be lots of background noise, but who cares? Because we get to have a look at the shiny new game. Let's go and have a look at it right now. And here it is. We've got the main menu screen. That's not me. That doesn't look anything like me. I guess the first thing we should probably do, because I mean they have adjusted all this stuff, so I guess the first thing we're going to do is recreate an actual version that looks a little bit more like me. So hitting start a new career. There's Golden FM behind me, by the way. Hit start a new career, and of course I am going to have my first look as Peterborough United the way I always do. We're not going to quick start. We're going to go on advanced setup and have a proper nose around and see what we can find in these settings and basically see what's changed. Other than the obviously features that have been announced, I don't really know what to expect, what's going to be the same, what's going to be different. So we're going to have a nice old nose around. I'm going to leave it on a small database because I want to record as much content as I can. I want this game to run super fast. So I'm happy leaving it set up. I mean, to be honest, I'm going to take it down to just the English leagues. I want this to fly by so that I can get plenty of videos recorded while I'm down here, so that I've got plenty to release for you lot to watch. This listen to how noisy they are, the monsters. So let's hit start game and see how long it takes to set up the new game. Setting up game database. I don't really have an FM19 comparison. If I was being really clever, I'd put one up on the screen now, but we all know that's something that I'm very unlikely to go away and do. But the line seems to be moving fast. There's a review for you. Apparently, at this game speed, processing breaks should be brief. Good. I want brief processing breaks, and there we go. We've got onto this screen remarkably quickly. So put my details in. Kevin Chapman, place of birth. Have they added home to the database? Should we have a little look? I think they should have done. No. Right then. I guess I'll put Peterborough there, my actual place of birth. So Peterborough in the east of England. Favourite team is also Peterborough. Did that know that because I put that as my place of birth? That's awesome. I've never seen it default to do that before. I don't think. I am experienced. Doesn't mean I know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to change any of those settings. But I am experienced, and that's important. I'm not going to leave all this. I want to play with this. I want to see how close I can get this to looking like me. So that looks about right. Height, can I change that to heights I understand? So I am 6'2", and I would say I've not really been looking after myself recently. I'm just pushing 13.5 stone now. Should we hit the randomised face button a few times? I mean, that's pretty close. There's a lot of glasses. I like the fact there's so many glasses. I'm assuming it's just the face that's changed. Oh no, there is different hairstyles. I thought it was just lots of shaved heads. That one's actually pretty close. I like the fact he's got a beard. What are our facial hair options? Can we have a look through facial hair options? I want full beard. Actually, that I might change the way I look in real life so that I match up with my Football Manager profile. That looks quite cool. But no, we'll leave it as that one. I do have glasses. I do have a suit because I don't believe in tracksuits. I'm going to leave this so that it all matches up to the mighty Peterborough United. Hit confirm and get started. We have a boardroom situation straight away. Peterborough United hire Chapman. Look at the flashing scarf. I hope it's supposed to be flashing and it's not glitching out. I'm sure it's supposed to be doing that. Peterborough have today confirmed the appointment of Kevin Chapman as the club's new manager. Eyebrows have been raised in the world of football at the appointment of 36-year-old. I'm 23. I just put a fake age into this. Who's recently spent time away from club football and is sure to face plenty of questions when he faces the media for the first time at Western Homes Stadium. Chapman has put pen to paper on a one-year deal worth £2,300 per week. That'll do. And he replaces previous manager Darren Ferguson. Where do I click? Oh, it's up there. I couldn't work out where to click on the screen. The next button's not usually up in the top corner. I assume spacebar works. Hold on, we have to check. Spacebar still works. We're all good. So I've got my meeting with Darren McAntony. So this is the new stuff. This is the new chairman meeting stuff right at the start. This is the reason I started the game right from the very beginning the way I have, rather than just getting into some of the gameplay stuff, because this is actually one of the big things that's changed, the relationship between manager and chairman and that whole long-term goals thing. I want to see how that works in real time. Full disclosure, this is my absolute first look at the game as well, so I have no idea if I'm even on the right screen to see that about to happen. But Darren would like to formally welcome me to Peterborough. What a lovely man. I've got an introductory welcome pack on its way, and he's congratulating me. I want to know what's in my welcome pack. Hopefully some kind of club mug. There's the club background. Last season we finished 7th in League One. That is a pathetic trophy history. I hate the fact that the leasing.com trophy is listed on there. We need to win so many trophies that gets pushed down to a page 2. And then just the 2 Sky Bet League 2 titles in 1961 and 1974. So let's hit next again. Okay, this is new stuff. So this is still coming from the chairman. Your coaching staff, so this is stuff that would have previously come in the inbox after we took the job, I think. Your coaching staff have compiled a brief overview of the current Peterborough squad. They'll provide you with a more comprehensive report in the coming days. So it's showing me our best 11 in presumably, I don't know if this is a preferred formation or if this is the formation that our players suggest we should use, maybe. I'd be interested to see if the formation changes from club to club and whether it's to do with the preset club preference formation or if it's an actually dynamic thing, because that would be quite cool if it is, but I have no idea. Key player is George Boyd. These little stats at the bottom here are changing. So squad personality is professional. It's got top owner is also George Boyd, top prospect Harrison Burrows. And this is our best 11 team. So a 4-3-1-2. That suits me down to the ground. Now you know why I always want to play this when I'm playing the game, because it's the way my beloved Peterborough United play. And goodness me, it's very pleasant seeing the best attacking front three outside the Premier League and my all-time hero George Boyd all in the one team, all within Football Manager. It's a lovely, lovely thing to see. So transfer obligation wise, these are the players. So that we've got Josh Knight in on loan until the end of the season. These players out on loan. This all makes sense. Can we already click on players? I don't really want to jump out of the system and go and click on players and risk not being able to find my way back to this screen, because I want to see all this stuff. Right, this is the nitty-gritty that I wanted to get into. So this is the outline of the board's vision for the future. I'll be in touch shortly to discuss the finer details and to finalise our competition objectives for the coming season. So, can we change this stuff? How does this work? Club vision, play attacking and possession football. I don't know if any of this is changeable. It looks like I was under the impression this would be more of a negotiation, but it seems more of these are your instructions. Maybe as a starting out manager, I get less impact in being able to actually be involved in the negotiations, and maybe it becomes more negotiation based as time goes on. Or maybe I misunderstood what this feature was going to be when it was first announced. But that's the club vision. So our 5-year plan, that doesn't feel like the most ambitious 5-year plan in the world. Our 5-year plan as a football club is to work within our wage budget. It's the one thing I can guarantee I won't be able to do. But then it breaks down into the individual milestones along the way to that 5-year plan. So by the end of the current season, they're looking for a top half League One finish, which is doable. 3rd round of the FA Cup, minimum. 2nd round of the Carabao Cup, minimum. And my contract then expires at the end of this season. So the things we have to achieve, we must stay within wage budget because that's required. We must finish in the top half. We must reach the 3rd round of the FA Cup, which seems like a weird thing. Why must we do that? And then they would like us to also reach the 2nd round of the Carabao Cup. And it looks like as long as we hit these other ones, that's not going to be a disaster. They would prefer attacking football, but presumably if we are within wage budget and hitting the playing milestones, but we're doing it counter-attacking, I don't think they'll mind. That's my interpretation of what that is. They would like it if I develop the club's youth system, but again, it's not a disaster if we don't. And then at the end of the 2020-21 season, they want promotion to the Championship, and that again is required. So that would be something that I would suggest. If we're not promoted inside 2 years, I'm going to get the old heave ho, and then the future milestones reflect that, because they're looking for the following season to stay in the Championship, even though we've not got up there yet, and become by the end of the 5-year plan an established Sky Bet Championship club. But that's only preferred. That's not required. So I guess that's an ideal. But as long as you're within the wage budget, it doesn't matter if you're still in League One, is how I interpret that. But it is, I was expecting to be able to have some kind of discussion or input on that stuff. Like I say, maybe it comes later. And now we've got the first real bit of interaction in this opening setup. So Darren McCantney asking me, do I want to do a press conference? Yes, because I want to see what they look like. Do I want an intra-squad friendly? Yes, because I want to see what it looks like. And do I want advice? Yes, I want to see everything. Give me it all at the moment. We'll save that and then have a nose around through the rest of these screens. So let's get stuck into all of these screens then, see what we've got that's new. Immediately what I'm noticing down the side of the screen here is that we've got this Club Vision button, which breaks all that stuff down a little bit more and shows how each of them is being judged, and then it sort of integrates overall manager performance and board requests in there as well, budget adjustments, all that kind of thing. So that's quite a snazzy little screen to give you a clue as to whether or not you're going to get sacked, when you're going to get sacked, whether or not you're going to get sacked. But we'll go through everything in order as normal. I'm not going to do the training induction again because I understand it's the same as the one from last year. Obviously, if you haven't played last year's game, not familiar with training, by all means go through the training induction, things like that. But we want to get straight into having a look at the match engine, really, and just having a look at a game being played. Oh, I like this straight away. This is a script. I might not have been paying attention, but I wasn't aware of this, and this is cool. So we have a code of conduct session. So in preparation for the new season, club captain Alex Woodyard has presented us with a potential code of conduct. The team have suggested fixed fines in place of ad hoc disciplinary action, and as such will happily abide by these rules. So rather than you just having kind of making it up as you go, and I've always kind of had these rules in my mind anyway, but rather than just making it up as we go, we have it all in there. So if you miss training for the first time, it's a 1 or 2 week, a half week's fine. Second time 1 week, third time 2 weeks, fourth time 2 weeks. I like that. I'm probably happy to leave this all as it is. Multiple booking ban. So that's a 1 day's wages fine, is it? I don't. What counts as multiple? Oh, a multiple booking ban. Okay, so if you get banned for being booked a lot, that makes sense. So 1 day's fine. Yeah, I like this. I really like all this. I don't know if half a week's fine for a straight red is enough. I would normally do, I guess, in fact, normally what I do for a red card is start with a warning and then go to a week, then 2 weeks from there. So actually this is harsher than mine, but if this is suggested by the players, then if I click, it says you can ask Gavin Strachan for his input. If I click that, I don't want it to do it for me, but I'm interested to see what his input is. So yeah, so that allows you to fiddle with it like that. So if we go, so this reset changes, they're the same, aren't they? I'm happy just to leave it as that, but I think that's a really cool additional thing. I like that. And then we've got all of the normal assistant manager stuff, so choosing a captain, vice captain. I mean, obviously I want George Boyd as my captain. He is my hero, so yes, he will be my captain. I'm happy to go along with all of this normal free kick taker stuff. So let's have a proper look around, see if we can find stuff that's different. That's what we're looking to do here. That's the squad screen. Obviously, I will get my LOLLUJO view sorted on there and put on the Steam Workshop just as soon as the beta is available. Team cohesion is utterly broken. That's very troubling. I guess that's, again, similar to how when I did this with Posh this time last year, we signed so many players in the summer, so team cohesion is going to be all over the place. Okay, this all looks... Was team meeting on there before? I feel like it wasn't, but it might have been. Tactic screen, we still have the same tactic creation thingy. Interestingly, we've got little thumbs ups next to some of these. So these are the styles that my assistant manager thinks would suit the players that we've got. That's quite a clever little thing. I'm pretty sure that's a new touch. So our players are suited to the gegenpress, wing play and fluid counter-attack. And it just so happens that gegenpress and fluid counter-attack are pretty much that, and direct counter-attack are the only three tactics I really used last year. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be setting something up using a gegenpress in a moment. This is team report. Do we still have the squad depth thing? We do, and it's still a wonderful, beautiful thing. Backroom staff induction. This looks new. Let's take it and see what happens. So here's a look at everyone working for the club in a non-playing capacity. Is this new? I think it is. I don't really pay much attention to my backroom staff, as I'm sure you've all seen. So it's telling me what the head of youth... Is this just telling me what they do? Okay. Technical director. What's the difference between a director of football and a technical director? Technical director looks after hiring and firing first team staff, keenly involved in coaching development, and works with those coaches to plan and set up training schedules. So is that a new role? I don't remember there being technical directors in the game before. That seems like that might be new. A loan manager. This is definitely new. The loan manager decides which players go on loan, where they go, and provides feedback on how they're doing while away from the club. So I like that. It's introducing the new little staff roles that we've got, and telling us what they do. This is splendid. So apparently we need a head physio, which we can request by going on there. That's all good. And then this is the staff responsibility screen where we work out who's going to be doing what for us. So who's going to hire which members of staff, who takes training, who does press conferences. This screen, there was a similar thing to this in FM19, but this is updated, changed, sort of tweaked around a little bit, which is cool. I like that. We're going to have a proper look at that screen in a second and sort out some staff responsibilities of our own. And then this is board responsibilities are out of my control. Yeah, I was going to say I shouldn't be able to tweak this. It's always useful to see who's in charge of doing various things at the club. So effectively it's Darren McCann and he's involved with the money, but Barry Fry is the guy who hires and fires me. That's interesting. Do I still have the option to replace him? Because previously there's always been that weird little disconnect where as manager you can get rid of the director of football, but on there that's directly telling me the director of football can get rid of me. So do I also have the option to get rid of him? That's going to be quite interesting. Similarly, managing the backroom staff at the club comes with a lot of responsibility for different areas. You get a clear understanding of who does what by digging a little deeper here. So that's just telling us who does which. Yeah, that all makes sense. I understand all of that. Scouting responsibility and, for example, handling transfers, contracts. Yeah, this all makes sense. I understand. I vaguely understand what's happening here. For every team at the club trains hard, staff are in place to handle so yeah, that's who does the training. This is who does tactics. That's tactical briefings. I was going to say, surely you can't delegate the creation of tactics. That would be mad. But I don't want to do tactical briefings. I don't like tactical briefings. Provides team selection advice, so you can change who does that. It's kind of taking things that were previously scattered around in different parts of the game and brought them all together into this one section, which is a much bigger section than it was before, but it's going to allow us to make sure everybody's doing exactly what we want them to do. And for lazy players like me, especially when I'm streaming, it's going to give me the option to automate as much as I possibly can, so I can just hit spacebar and chat to people, which is pretty sure that's what streaming is supposed to be. Right, can we get out of this tutorial now? It's been going on for a long time. This is our database of non-playing personnel. That is a lot. That is a lot of non-playing staff, and they're all called Alan, which is it's an alpha, unless. In fact, this is the staff search screen, and it's in alphabetical order. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. That isn't telling me that all of Peterborough's staff are called Alan. Misunderstood the screen. This concludes your induction to backroom staff. Before you go, we have a few tasks you can either handle yourself or delegate out. These will affect all teams at the club. So I don't want to manage friendlies, so my backroom staff can do that. I do want to see press conference. In fact, I say that I want to manage the first friendly to show you. So we'll switch that over to backroom staff after the first friendly. Press conferences I want to do because I want to have a look at. Same with tunnel interviews. Recruiting staff I'm going to leave to my backroom staff. Same with staff contract renewals. I don't need to be bogged down in contract negotiations. But this is quite cool. I like the fact that we've got this loan manager sounds interesting. Technical director definitely sounds interesting. If we go on to here, so this is a deeper look at that responsibility screen we just got the tutorial for, so you can really dig into different sections of this and decide who's going to be doing what. So I don't know, let's pick renewing the loan manager's contract, so we can be that specific, even who's going to be doing. So I can say, right, I want Barry Fry to be the guy who renews the loan manager's contract, but the head of youth development, I want to sort that. Chief Scout, Darren McCann can have that. That's quite interesting. Right, hiring and firing director of football. Can I do it myself? It does. Can I or can't? So hold on, let's go on there. Can I do this myself? It's not. So this is just stuff that I'm delegating. But can I do it? I want to see if I can sack Barry Fry. No, not staff search. Where's my staff? I've lost my staff. Right, director of football. Barry Fry. So I can still sack him, and he can sack me. And Darren McAntony can sack us both. This is going to end badly for everyone involved. Right, let's... I just want to show this friendly against the under-23s, and we'll call it there on this first video. But let's just shoot forward to that. Show you friendly, just so you can see a match in action. We have the club vision expectations again, didn't we? Didn't we already do this? We now. Oh, so is this where we get to negotiate this stuff? Ah, ha, ha, ha. Now I understand. So previously, when we had it before, that was just the sort of club standard stuff. Whereas now, because we're having a club vision meeting at the start of the season, this is where we get to negotiate this stuff. So attacking and possession football were on there as preferred, but I can take them off and actually have a negotiation with it if I don't want to do those things. So I like the idea of I'm happy with both of those. I'm not that bothered about using the club's youth system, so I'm just going to try and take that off just to see how the negotiation works more than anything. Take out club budget. No. Okay, so the ones that are required, I don't get the option to take away. They have to stay in. Although I can change that to win promotion to the Premier Division. Why not? So I can tweak a few things. I'm just going to hit suggest just to see what happens with me taking that one out up there. No, they've put it back in. Your proposed changes to the club's vision need a lot of work. I made one change, so yeah, it looks like they're not gonna let me fiddle with it all too much. I mean, why I would negotiate that to make it even harder for myself, I don't know. So I'm not going to do that. Revert. Right, let's just confirm those ones. So there is negotiation. That makes me feel a little bit better. I was a little bit worried that I'd misunderstood that feature when it was first announced. The expectations the board has for the coming season are as follows. So top half finish, that works for me. There's the budget. So again, this is stuff that you can tweak to a certain extent, but obviously within the overall goals of the club. And then you've got the dynamics, team reports stuff. This is all standard stuff that we've had in the game previously. I guess let's do a press conference and see if we've got different press conference questions. It's always fun checking in on the press conference questions. I mean, look, that is the spitting image of me. That is exactly what I look like. I am looking forward to getting started. I can't stop smiling. It is a wonderful feeling. These are the standard questions. It doesn't look like they've changed massively. I know there have been some more responses added in, but obviously a lot of these ones are still in here. I might just storm out. Is it time to storm out? I have an inherent level of trust in their collective abilities. Yes, I do. I think that's a new one. I don't think I've seen that before. Have you met the players yet? And if so, what is the mood in the camp? I have not met the players. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they like me or not. Right. What must I... Why is it saying must respond? What do I have to respond to? Oh, I've got to introduce myself to the squad. Okay. So I actually hadn't met the players when I did the meeting. That might be why that question came up that I hadn't seen before. I am now meeting the players, and I'm going to get passionate with them, because what else would you do in a room full of footballers? I know, mate, you may not have heard of me. I should probably do that. I don't want to passionately say, you've not heard of me, but I'm great. There you go. Calmly. George Boyd thinks I'm brilliant. George, the feeling is absolutely mutual. We're going to finish in the top half. George disagrees. No longer like George Boyd. My passion is not getting me anywhere. I have just upset. Oh, should I passionately tell them about the code of conduct? They're all happy with the code of conduct. I'll passionately say I'm happy that they're happy. I think I've done quite a lot more harm than good there. You can see dressing room atmosphere has plummeted. That's had more of an impact than I was expecting it to have, and I've upset the entire first team squad. We'll be good. Let's go play a friendly. Right, here we go then. We are going to get into a game. Peterborough versus Peterborough under 23s. I realise I've not set up the tactic yet, so I'm just going to use, for the purposes of this, the preset Gegenpress. Oh, look, he even thumbs up which one within them we should use. So he's saying gegenpress is one of the good tactics to use, and then within that, he's saying 4-4-2 diamond. That's the formation you want, Kev. Well, if I've got the option to let my assistant manager do something for me, I will absolutely let my assistant manager do something for me. So he thinks this is a good tactic for us. And really, that ideal team that it showed us at the start was a 4-3-1-2, so this isn't a million miles away from that. So I can cope with this. 2 attacking wing backs, attacking midfielder, always looks very pretty. Where's the quick pick button? What's the difference between selection advice and quick pick? So if I go, this is that other shiny new feature, isn't it? So this is the selection advice. So this is going to be different from quick pick. So let's just see. If we hit quick pick, that's the team it gives me. If I hit selection advice, is that now the same team? So Butler, Knight, Kent, Thompson. Butler, Knight, Kent, Thompson. Reed, Boyd, Woodyard. Reed, Boyd, Woodyard. So it is the same team. So I guess quick pick is what you would do if you literally just wanted to pick the team. If you wanted to know why you're picking that team, that's when you would click selection advice. So it's telling us, for example, we're playing Tazdemir because he'll benefit from an increase to match fitness. But if I decide I don't want to play him, how do I change that? Do I then go and just, so if I want to put Marcus Maddison in there, so yeah, that's then showing the change I've made to the recommendation. So I want to play Maddison, he wants to play Tazdemir because he needs fitness. So I can either then go with the suggested squad or go with my squad. So I actually think the way round I'm more likely to use this is pick the team for myself and then hit selection advice to see if there's any way that the assistant manager wants to disagree with me or overrule me, because using it the other way around, it feels a little bit like, well, if I literally don't want to pick the team myself, I'll probably just hit quick pick. But doing it, picking your own team and then saying, right, is this the best team to use? That seems to make some sense to me. I don't think we need to be playing Isa as a complete forward. He really doesn't like the look of it. He can be an advanced forward. Other than that, do we need to tweak him a little bit? I don't want to really add him in. Does that count as a tweak? No. So you don't need to be a ball-playing defender either. You can just be a defendy defender. Right. That's going to take some getting used to, but I think that would be really handy. Certainly the deeper you get into it, because obviously I would assume that's where stuff like recommending youngsters get a game in the cup, for example, that might be quite a cool thing. I'm going to try and remember to hit that selection advice button fairly regularly to see how far it starts to vary from the sort of team that I think I would be picking. But what I want to do is show you the match in action. So let's get a match loaded up. The teams are warming up. I'm going to assume game sound has been left on, so because this is, like I say, it's the very first time I'm touching this. I don't know where the settings are. If it starts shouting in a second and I panic, I'll turn the sound off straight away. Headphone users, beware. That might be about to happen. Right, team talks. What is this? Oh, so I can delegate team talk right there, team talks. So, you know what? My assistant can do it. So can I delegate this to somebody else? So if I want a coach to do that part, that's cool. I like it. Right, kick off. Play. Someone else has already turned the sound off. This is good. Unless there's no speakers. I guess it's because I've got headphones plugged in. No, it's not. Someone's already turned it off. Right, what we do need to do is tweak this a little bit, because we don't want extended highlights on. We'll be here all day and this feels very slow. So let's bump the speed up a little bit. Do we want replays? Only for goals. So take that stuff off. Have we got? There you go. I know that's all you're going to see of it on this channel this year. I'm not even going to let you see it moving. If you want to see 2D classic, you have to look for it yourself. That's what it looks like though, but I refuse to let it move from that view. We're going to go back to, what is the difference between director and TV? I can't remember how I had it set up on FM19. Director is the one that moves around all over the place, isn't it? I think. Is it? We'll monitor it. I might switch to TV. So I think it might be TV that I have it set up as at the moment, and I want to feel like everything's normal. Right, I don't want this focus of attacks thing on here. What do we put on here instead? Normally we'd put latest scores, wouldn't we? But for a pre-season friendly, I guess there aren't any. Yeah, this is. I don't want it on director. I want it on. I think No, that's not right either. Which is the one that I normally use? Sideline? No. Perhaps it is director. But maybe we zoom in a little bit. We'll leave it like this for now. Right, we want to see a goal. Who's going to be my first goal scorer of FM20? This is obviously, I would like it to be George Boyd. If he could just dance through and score a goal now, that would be a beautiful thing. Tony through to Isa, and it is Mo Isa gets my first goal in FM20. Now we get to have a look at a snazzy little replay, which it's giving me the replay from the exact same angle. We need to get that changed so we get replays. We can't have both camera and replay both as director, so we need to. There's no point in having a replay if it's not showing us a different angle. So let's switch replays to behind goal for now, and we can always tweak that around as needed. Ivan Toney is getting complacent. Need to have a word with him. We'll have no complacency here. Did he not listen to my inspirational pre-match team talk? Very upset with that man at the moment. And quite excitingly as well, I'm not losing yet. Now, if you remember from this time last year when I did my first look at FM19 and played as Peterborough, I managed to lose the pre-season friendly against my under-23s. Whilst getting a player sent off, if I recall. That was a stunning goal, by the way. So we get to have a look at this one from the other angle now. So Tony picks it up out wide, plays it across to Isa, who just has a little look. And the bend on that is awesome. What a goal. Lovely, lovely stuff. And as we approach half-time, it is now 2-0. This camera angle this cannot be what I normally use. I'm seeing some camera angles I don't normally see. Now, I don't know if that means they're ones that have been newly added into the game, or if I've got this set up differently to how I have it set up at home, but it's scaring me when the angles change too much. And you can also see where the pitch is starting to cut up a little bit. Unless my monitor's dirty, I think the pitch is cutting up though. Tony makes it 3-0 just before half time, and you can see like little footprint areas or puddles. I can't tell if they're puddles or footprints because it looks like it's dark. The floodlights, the stadium looks awesome in the floodlight situation, and I like the fact we've got a big screen in each corner of the ground. In reality, all Posh actually have is like a 32-inch TV behind one of the goals. So this is an exceptional upgrade that I'm very much on board with. But let's have a look at the halftime team. We'll do this one ourselves. So we're going to get passionate. I am very happy. I'm going to try and hand over to Mark Tyler, who's in goal for the under-23s at the moment. So get him to come into our changing room and do a team talk for us. Can I do that? I'm just trying to break it, really. So, no, he's come in and done it. He's upset everybody, probably because he's playing for the other team at the moment. We probably need to be starting to think in terms of making some substitutions. We've got a lot of uninterested players now. Presumably as a direct result of that team talk, I probably shouldn't have got as passionate as I did for a pre-season friendly against our own kids. The pitch is really starting to mark up again, you can see, which is, it's interesting. I don't know if that pitch damage is going to carry over from game to game, because it seems to be getting lots and lots of marks on it for a pre-season friendly in July. And if that's going to build up over time, we're going to be playing on a beach by Christmas, which, it's a situation we have had at Posh in the past. These floodlights look lovely. Beautiful. Right, it's 4-0 now. we're going to give it to the hour mark, and then we're going to make a bunch of substitutions, certainly taking off any of these uninterested players. So if we go to this screen, can we get our assistant manager involved here? That would be nice if we could, but it doesn't look like we can. Other than the fact that, as before, it still highlights changes that we could potentially make. So we're going to make that one. Because that was the suggestion from before. We don't have a striker on the bench. This is, I mean, in reality, Tazdemir would probably move up there, or Dembele. We'll get him on as well. In fact, looking at fitness levels in the team, we don't actually need to make much in the way of changes. And we'll bring Beavers on to play at the back instead of Knight. But I don't think we need to tweak things around too much. And I'm waiting for the 75-minute mark so I can make some more changes. We can see Big Herb the Nerd behind us as well now. Look, he's drifted into the video. We've got to play Spot the Football Manager YouTubers as they appear behind me. Let me know if you've seen anyone else while I was focusing and not paying attention. Can I make another change? Beavers is broken already. I've only just brought him on. That doesn't seem right. Mason can come on there. I do want to get Dembele on. I think I'm just going to bring him on up front and maybe switch those two around. I'm kind of doing what I might do in reality rather than what necessarily works for Football Manager. It's one of the reasons why I've traditionally been pretty poor at managing Posh in Football Manager, because they're the one team that I can manage and just completely ignore the way the game's telling me to do things and just kind of do my own thing. But we've made it 5-0 on the 78-minute mark. It's a bit of a messy goal, a bit of a kerfuffle. But the thing that I'm taking out of this is that, unlike last year, I'm actually winning the original friendly, the initial friendly, which is it's a remarkable change from how things were this time last year. So I've officially got much better at the game than the last year. I'm going to give myself a big pat on the back. Mason now charging through. That's our right back doing fancy things there. They've even got the terrace behind the goal. And it looks really nice. The stadium looks really, really cool. It looks nicer than our ground in real life. I don't know why that deck chair's there. There's a few deck chairs scattered around. But the stadium definitely looks like it's had a polish up from what I'm used to seeing in game from this year. I am going to give it a bit more passion, even though it upset them when I did it before. And then we make it through to the end of the game and also the end of this first video. I don't know how often I'm going to be releasing videos between now and the beta starting as part of this, mainly because as I'm sat here now, I don't know how many I had the chance to make. So what I'm going to do, I think, is pass over to future Kev, and he'll explain what the plan from here on is because he'll already know how much I've done, and he can say goodbye to you from there. So future Kev, do your thing.
Well, thank you very much, Past Kev, and thank you to everybody who has watched this video through to this point. Hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it, and believe me, there is lots more still to come. I have about 6 hours of footage recorded from the capture event, still to be gone through and edited and put together into something resembling episodes. It's not all usable footage because there's a lot of just clicking in between screens. So my job for the rest of the week or the next few days now is to try and condense that down into a sensible episode length for each thing. I think we've done a good job of doing a deep dive and showing you everything today, but for the rest of this little mini series with Posh, we're going to be just looking at the normal stuff, the matches and any new features I find along the way. So my plan at the moment is to release the next episode at 4 p.m. tomorrow, so back in our normal 4 p.m. time slot. I think it's going to edit out to maybe 6 episodes after this one, so we should have daily content at 4 o'clock for most of the rest of the week, and then obviously we run out at that point, and from then on we'll be waiting for the beta to drop just like everybody else. But hopefully you'll come back tomorrow and join me for the first game of the new season. And we can have a look at how some of the things develop as we go on, particularly the some of those new features, they do definitely play a part. It's some interesting stuff that I know is still to come. But hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I am going to be doing daily Football Manager content throughout FM20. So subscribe if you're new. Turn notifications on. Don't forget to pre-order through the link down below to save money against this price on Steam. And thank you very much for watching.